Hello my friends, this is Jay and welcome back to Jay's ASMR. We haven't done one in a long time and I just thought I have a question to ask. As you know, I'm on and off trying to go through some of my stuff and I have a lot of stuff because I've been at this not just on YouTube, but I've been knitting for years and years and years. And whatever trend came along or whatever was popping at a hot at the time, I of course wanted to be in on it. And then once that passed, look, I just brushed it aside. So the question I have for myself and for you, what happens? Let's just start with patterns. Just some simple patterns. What happened to all the patterns we collected, loved, adored, spent time searching for, but we never ever used them or got around to, working up that design? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to show you what and where I have kept all those patterns over these many years. many years. So, let's get started with Jay's ASMR. This is my Ravelry collection. Ravelry collection. I have one. Do you? All right, back in just a moment. Well, let's start at the beginning. How did I get to Ravelry? Jay, what's your Ravelry story? Because you don't hear me talk about it that much. But way back when Ravelry first came in, it was new. And what was that? Maybe around 2007, 6 or 7. Only where I remember things is which car I had. And I remember which car I had at the time. So around 2007. So I had found another knit shop. I had my knitting groups. But you know how you just, you want to give some other things different and, you want to sit under teachers. I love my group and we had fun going places and doing things and knitting and all of that. But, the knitter in me and hopefully in you, you always want to seek out someone who knows more and can teach you and that you can sit under and learn. So I found a knit shop. And at this, I remember, and our knit night was on a Thursday night. Every Thursday night you can just come in and knit. Everybody was there. People tried to come right from work. And, it was hopping. It was pumping. People were everywhere. It was a small shop, but I'm telling you, we were very loyal to the owner because she was so sweet. And we just enjoyed the fellowship. And one night when I got there, there was a buzz already. People were buzzing and she was telling people and had some kind of papers and things or something. I didn't hear all that, but she said, well, I want to tell, everyone about this new site on the internet. And we said, oh, okay. Back before that, it was just people had individual sites on the internet where you were blogging and talking. Remember I said one of the first people I ever followed was a lady named Mary Ann, and I think she was from British Columbia, Canada. Is that correct? BC or something. Anyway, she was out of Canada. And she was just into dishcloths. Well, I could knit more in dishcloths, but hey, I liked her site. She had some pretty stitches, so I would just follow her and make dishcloths or whatever. And there was others, and that will be another video. We could do another video where we track down some of the OGs, the old gods on the YouTube. the old originals, old originals. Okay, so getting back to the story. So she said they were they had this site going. It was called Ravelry. Of course, none of us could say it right at the time. And nobody could remember that name. And what kind of name is that anyway? I still don't understand it. But anyway, she said it was called, well, eventually we learned it was Ravelry. And it was just for knitters, and where designers and things, or advanced knitters, or people were going to share their designs and just share things. But the main thing about it at that time, most designers were so new or just coming onto the scene. Everything on Ravelry was free, just about. Except you were a big designer. But everything was free. A free download, a free copy of this, free that. All you got to do is go on the site and download it, or go to that page and download it. So we were all excited. At that time, if I remember, they were trying to make 5,000. They hadn't even reached 5,000 yet, I don't believe. And of course, we all got there. She gave us all the site. Everybody couldn't wait to get home. I did not even have a computer. That's how new it was to me. I didn't have my own computer. I would just borrow my son's or something like that, but I didn't have anything to do a computer on. I had left work. I was not working anymore. And my painting shop, where I taught toe lessons and things, we had closed and had started knitting. Well, I didn't have nothing to go home to until my son, he was graduating college, and he had a computer at the house, but, I had to wait till he got there and went on the site for me. He's the very first one to enter me into Ravelry. Set me up an account and gave me a passcode, name, or whatever. And that's how I got onto Ravelry the very first time. To look up the little information she had given us on a piece of paper, or we wrote it down that night. And she wanted everyone to go and register and sign up, join. And that's what all of us did. Now, fast forward. All right, so Ravelry's going. We're checking out things everywhere we look. There's so many patterns every week. Like I said, everything was pretty much free. So I started collecting Ravelry patterns. Every night, or every weekend that he was home or whatever, I said, well, would you help me on your computer? Would you let me go in and look at Ravelry for a little while you're not too busy? busy. Well, he got tired, and eventually one day he came home. It was on a weekend. He said, what are you doing this weekend? I said, well, nothing. He said, we're going to Best Buy and we're going to buy you a computer. That's how I got my computer. I said, we are? I said, okay, it wasn't about the money. I could buy the computer. I had money, but I didn't know nothing about what to buy. So he took me, got all the components, whatever I needed, we picked it all out, brought it home. I mean, I couldn't wait till he got all those connections and got it. And then that's when it all just opened up. That's when the lava just came out of the volcano. I would just sit up night after night after night, downloading patterns, all till I would just almost pass out. But I loved every minute. Like I said, they were trying to grow the channel, the Ravelry site. So I want to show you, I really got into it. As you can see, I have this beautiful, beautiful white binder. If any of you were with me from the very first video when I said, hi, my name is Jay, and this is I was standing there and showed you my little room, my studio. Not so little, it's pretty big, nice studio. And one of them, remember I had the goldfish, and on one cabinet, there was this whole line of white binders. And I said, oh, these are my beautiful white binders that I keep all my patterns in. And I said, well, one night we'll go through some. Well, I never got around to that because my channel took off and I I started having to do other things. Never got to the white binders. Well, here we go. These are my Ravelry white binders. And I want you to just take a second and look. I'm going to lift it up just a little bit. So you can kind of see this is full. Now, I shouldn't have probably done that. But it is full. And guess what? I not only have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these binders, but I have about 12 or 13. Yes! I have a whole collection of Ravelry free downloads. They were all free off the net over the years. Not just Ravelry, other sites too that had free patterns. Once I got into how to use my computer and how to search out patterns. So, let's start tonight. This is just one. I didn't number them when I started, but as you can see, and as I will show you, I have been very careful. I have collected and taken care of them just like they were precious and, oh, so beautiful. And hadn't done hardly any of them. All right, let's go get ready to go through. Just wanted you to know my Ravelry story. Back in just a moment. All right, so one of the first things that I did when I started collecting the patterns, once I saw that, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to be doing that forever. I didn't know, you get excited about things. I wanted categories. I just didn't put them all in here willy-nilly, socks and hats and that. No, I decided to make each white binder, whatever, if it was going to be like this one, is more like shawls or little shawlettes or wraps and things like that. Well, I put a picture. I just made a picture. I found a picture on the net, whatever. I don't know how long I've had this picture. I found it somewhere, or I bought it somewhere. No, I don't know where I got it. I got it somewhere. But it says Artful Yarns Mystery. And there's this beautiful, as you can see, the little wrap. And it just has a twist in it. Most people say, oh, that's a Mobius. No, it just has a twist in it. That's all it is. A Mobius is different, but they look the same. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty picture to put on to my book that was going to represent wraps and shawls and things like that and shawlettes. So that way, there was patterns. I had a designated place. So let's open up and see what we have. So now I got to make sure that I can see where I am on here. I'm not going to worry so much about that side. It's this side I'm going to kind of look at. Okay, but I will start with a picture off this side. This is a picture of one of the very first sweaters that I made off of a Ravelry pattern. And I'm sure soon we'll come across it somewhere. I didn't put the name on here, but I think I can remember when I see it whose pattern that I got this download. And I still have this sweater. It's back in the back in one of my bins. It was like a sparkly top of fuchsia, and then the bottom was like a purple, dark purple or so. You can't see it on this. It was just a copy. This has been over there for years. I've kept it. So I just put it right there. Now, let's see what we have in the book itself. Now, I'm going to have to unclip this, and boy, what a mess. I hope it don't make too big a mess. But let's just take a look. Now, I know this is going to be a glare, so I may take off the... Oh, as you can see, each pattern, I bought... I wasn't on Amazon and all that at the time, so I guess I just went to the office supply store. But look, all of my patterns, everything was put in these plastic protectors. Oh my gosh, Jay, you were just way into it, weren't you? Yes, I was. Let me pull a little closer in there, so we can kind of look at that side more. Okay, so here's a beautiful Garden View shawlette. Now, I'm not going to go through all names and things like that, because who knows, these names could be all over the world, But I'm going to let you see a picture, and I thought this was a beautiful shawl, kind of a wrap. It was a free download. See, it came free. There's that. And then then you get the second page. Just how many pages? There's a whole pattern. You probably can still, look, this is when, so you see I do, I started out reading the written word. So I know how to read patterns even before I learned how to do charts. So look at that. I mean, it's a full pattern. I'm just sharing with you. How about if I turn it like this? Yeah, that'd be good. I'm just going to go, just anything that hits me. Now let me turn it over and see what this is. See? Here is a beautiful, looks like a shrug, a blue shrug. It's giving a little front and back. Let's see if this is picking up, or am I too low? Let me come down a little bit, maybe. Tilt down a little bit. Okay. So, this is like a shrug. Oh, I was going to make this. Oh, I'm sure I was. Okay. So, I think I can do it like that and then put each side. But then I got serious. There was some things I went ahead and made. Here's something. You can see my, I forgot to take this out. We'll do a flip through. I'm not going to try to go through everyone. You see I fully, but you can see, I just want you to see in my own handwriting, I went through and worked up got some of the information, looked at some of the numbers, wrote it down. Now I'm going to have to bag back like I had left it. This was a cute little, one of those short little neck. Let's see, is there a name on here? I don't even see a name. Bohemian. A little bit bohemian scarf with endless flare. Now I'm sure a lot of you may have this pattern, but I was really into it. See, got my own in my own right. Now put down. You can see where I was knitting, and I did knit quite. Oh, here's a picture in a blue. A little bit bohemian. See? But it was a free download. She has her copyright, the name of somebody named Rebecca Carmichael Strodom or something, I don't know. But this was, oh, let me check a date. Most of this stuff was dated, so you can see these are real receipts. This is not something I got some pattern or something, or took somebody's pattern. No, they were free downloads. And I was doing them for myself. This was 2010. So that wasn't too bad. Let's just do a few more. Then we'll do a flip through. Let me take this one out. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, I'm sure I meant to make this. Jay, surely you were going to make this. Honey bunches. Oh, look at that. Honey bunches. And I'll tell you if I see a date on here. Because like I said, they were all free download. I tell you if I pay, I would know if I paid for all this. No, it's free. Back in the day. They're not free. Look, they don't have that now. And I understand why, but when people were new, oh look. There's a chart. Look at that. There's a beautiful chart. Let's see, there should be a date right down here somewhere. I was trying to see what date they had on this one. I'm just trying to give you just a little information. Just show you how Ravelry changed my life. I still didn't have a clue I was going to wind up on the internet. I was just collecting patterns. Okay, I'm just looking, and I'm just going to just flip through some things and not take all this paper loose, because I'll see if you can see some through without taking it out of the thing. That's something everybody has seen, this button wrap. Uh-oh, sorry, I hit the camera. Let me move back. Oh, this was a free download from Red Heart. Oh, from Red Heart. See, once I got onto Ravelry, and then I had my computer, then I learned how to download other sites, and So that was just a free download. Everybody has pattern. This was a pretty free download. I mean, I've just got, there's that same little wrap. Let's go to some, everybody remember Cascade Yarns? Used to get a lot of stuff from them. They had a lot of pretty patterns. Look at that. A silk spring cardigan. Oh, I'm sure I would have made that. Oh, it has something. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. It has a beautiful, I think I tried. Let's see, can I get it with, well, shoot, I'm going to take it out. That's the only thing about me deciding to do this, because I knew I had them all in these binders, these protectors. Oh, this is by Wendy Bernard. Oh my gosh! Look, we come full circle. Remember, I didn't use a lot of her stitch books. Oh, I didn't know this. I hadn't seen this pattern in years. I didn't even know what I have. Oh my gosh, I have some Wendy Bernard stuff. But it came through Cascade Yarns. Here's Crystal Palace. That was a site where people would knit things and put it on the site with the patterns. Someone knitted this. I don't know if this is her true pattern or if she just knitted it. Okay, it says Crystal Palace Yarn, designed and knit by Gail Tanquary, something. Okay, she knit this design. Wherever she got the pattern, she knit the design. Then she put it on. There was a site. It may still be on there. And we're gonna do that one night. Go through some, like I said, some of the old. I still have a lot of my old sites, and they're still working. They're still there. But this is called the Mini Mochi Shawlette Crystal Palace Yarn. And she put it on there and had all the things. I didn't put it on. It was a download. Oh, 2009. There's the date right there, 2009. And I think a lot of people remember this little multicolored shawlette. Then there's some red heart. See, it was just packed. So now I'm just going to go through some. If I see something that looks really great, I'll stop. Classic Elite Yarns. Boy, there's a chart on that one. That's good. Layla Simple Shawl. Everyone remembers this shawl. Everyone has knitted this shawl. You may not know that you knitted it, but this was from 2008. I'm going to take it out of the package because this is one that everyone would have knit this shawl. I remember when it came out. And you can get the download. And you see it. Let's just take a minute to look at it. Oh, I would just love. See, there's that shade abbreviation. You see, I don't know. Maybe I did knit it because I have it highlighted. So, and I tried not to mess up my patterns. I didn't go crazy. Then here's just a nice little shawl I guess I got from somewhere. This was 2008. And it's naturallycaron.com. I must have gone on the site. By Margaret Wilson. Okay. Ella shawl. Everybody probably has this shawl because I remember this was 2010. She had, so I must have got it from her site. This probably wasn't Ravelry, but this probably came from her site, I guess. Because it has jumpingcablesknitting.com. Ella shawl, the Ella shawl. There's a whole pattern. It was free. 2010. Oh, I see a little. I think I see. Oh, there's a chart chart, but I think that's this. Remember Valley Yarns? 2008. Let's just go. I'm just going to flip through some. If the picture's too small, I won't dally. Light and Airy Poncho. Oh, I got this off of 2004. Remember Annie's Attic? Is Annie still around? Oh, we'll have to put it in the, and take it out. We'll have to put it in our night that we go back and find some of the old sites that I still have. And some of them are really good. But look at that poncho. Light and Airy Poncho. And I got it from Annie's Attic. Oh, I remember I used to just step on. Every time Annie had some download. Download. Oh my gosh. Oh, the crazy stuff. How crazy we are when we fall in love with things. Okay, I'm just going to run through some because, oh, look at this. I probably bought this at the yarn shop. This is probably something I just bought at the yarn shop. So maybe this wasn't free. This is some kind of ocean wave shawl by Suki Kian Kozinski. Ocean wave shawl is worked top down and center out. Resembles a kind of a crescent with gentle waves draping naturally from your shoulders. I didn't take it out because I don't want to lose that. All right, let's go on. That was good. Anything simple. Here's, everybody remembers this cow neck slouchy sweater from Red Heart. You know, people complain about their yarn, but they sure, look, they didn't mind using the patterns that their designers came up with. Ivy Topper. Oh, how cute. Ivy Topper. Everybody remembers that. Little shrug. Here's a pretty rose filet triangle. So this is filet crochet and there's a rose pattern. Let's see if we can see if I see a rose in here. Because I know, oh, my friend Katrina, she does filet crochet. It's hard to find people that do it as much anymore. Oh, look at this. Katrina, look. Look at that. Let's see if I'm on the camera. Let's see if I'm on. Oh my gosh, let me hold it up. Look at that that huge rose. And then there's a shawl with the fringe. You know, it's so big, I don't know, can you see the pattern? It's kind of hard seeing it with her wearing it. But that was, let's see if there's a date on here. And you may be able to find some of these. I don't know, everybody, has Red Heart, has this site been bought out? You know, you may not be able to find if it's been bought out. But some things are still, you know, you might run across. 2010. And that was the Rose Filet Triangle. Now this one, everybody remembers this. Pretty in Pink Stove. Look at that. 2003. Oh my gosh. Is this from Annie's Attic? I don't know. Oh, Darlene Sims. Oh, Darla Sims. Remember, she has a crochet book. I love that book. It's been around for years. Darla Sims, you know, her crochet books. So if you're crocheting and you don't have Darla Sims' book, you need to find them. You need to go to used bookstores if you can't find them. I'm not going to look at something real small that you can't see. That's cute, but let's look on a few. Oh, let's go over here. Oh, look at this. Now we're getting to some of the good stuff. Okay, this is a vest. I'm not going to try it. Celia McDonald. I'm not going to try to get into names and all that. I'm just going to show you the pictures and give you an idea of where I got it or Oh, she had a chart. Well, you can apparently see I thought about doing it, but I don't remember knitting this. I don't know what happened because she has charts. And maybe I wasn't comfortable yet with charts because I have the written pattern highlighted. See? U.S. Circular. Remember when I was smaller? I told you I used U.S. number 8. And some people, I would just say this, everybody has their own way of figuring out what fits. I just came to the conclusion early in life, early in knitting, after, you see that your body changes and you don't know. It was easier for me to pick a needle and the yarn, the appropriate yarn, and just stay with that as much as possible. I always got beautiful things. You see my things on YouTube. Maybe the person that I got the pattern from was 5'7" and 190 pounds. Well, I'm much shorter and I'm, hadn't got that fluffy yet, but you just have to, I like to know, okay, a certain yarn is going to give me this fit. It can be different brands, but as long as I stay close, all of my things, as you have seen, I have stayed with a US number 8, and when I got fluffier, I moved up for positive ease for a number 9, to help me with hot flashes and just a better fit. I'm not trying to, everybody has their own system. That system works for me. I don't try to be this model and fit when my body will not fit. But I can use what she has given and make it fit me with the yarn that I prefer and that will work with me. Especially now that I'm fluffy, I can't spend hours and days and weeks. You know how long it would take to knit something in a size 3 yarn? I'll be 79. I'll be dead and gone. But a number 4, a nice medium number 4, you see what I can do. And I don't mind. The same size yarn, the same needle. It works. This is so cute. Before I got fluffy in the hips and at the bottom, I believe I was going to make this vest. Sweet Melody vest. Let's see if I have a 2009. Jackie Schweitzer. 2009. This was a pretty... I was going to do this. It was a free download. Look, the whole pattern. See? Row by row. So apparently I, let you know that I could read patterns. I still can, but with my eyes now, I much prefer charts. That's just me. Look at that. Look at all these words. In one chart. One little tiny chart. We'll use all those words, we'll take all those words and put it into a little tiny chart. So now I'm just going to run through some that, and we'll stop. In fact, let me stop and reset the camera a little. All right, my friends, I've juiced my camera back up, and I thought we'd go ahead and let's look at a few more. As you can see, Jay love making and downloading patterns. So you see? All right. Let me make sure I didn't move the camera, that the camera's in good. I have a glare, but we'll just have to I might pull in a little bit. Maybe I can get rid of some of the glare. It's right down here. But we'll continue on. All right, let's go. Well, first up to bat is this pretty little... nice little, maybe I should take this, open it up so we can undo everything. Here is, this was a nice little, I don't know if I got this at the knit shop, but it was like it's a separate piece. It wasn't in a packet. And has a whole pattern and everything on the back. A pretty little edge chart. And I did do my handwriting. I did mark over a few things. So apparently I thought it was worth giving it a try, or it was popular. When other people at the knit shops are knitting on something, everybody wants to knit on it. And so this might have been just something they were working on, and I thought, oh, that's cute. So let's lay that over here. Oh, here's some more Cascade. They really always had a lot of patterns. And you can just simply pull them off the internet. Like I said, this was all new to me, and in the beginning, most of all these people just gave you the pattern back in the day. On the back side, here's a Victorian shawl. Oh, by Verna Sanson. Salmon. Maybe Sannon. Vera Sannon. Oh my gosh. I love her stuff. I have a whole book, I think, dedicated with her downloads. We'll get to it. But this was called a Victorian or Victoria shawl. Really pretty. I'm going to bring it close so that you can see some of these things. We have so many. I'm going to go through now like a flip through. This is from Plymouth Yarns. 2013. Oh, so this one wasn't too old. See if there's anything on the back. Some type of little neck thing, but that's not. Here's a lace topper. Let's see. This was probably from Red Heart, I believe. Look at that. See what's on the back. Oh, just another little crochet something. We'll just let that kind of fall over that way. A lot of these are Red Hearts, so let's go find some. See if we see any more big names that maybe gave us some patterns. Okay, this was Line Brands. This is Woolies. Oh, that's a cute little thing there. Oh, my word. Let's see. What is this called? It's called a triangle wrap. Let's see if there's any more pictures to it. And I think there's something on the other side, too. Hold on. Let me see if I can see if there's some pictures that might show me. Might could do that. Like I said, these are free patterns. Okay. First of all, this is on the back side, so let me turn to hers first. Okay. This was Woolies, and they just gave a pattern number, L10753. Pattern number L10753. And man, does that look pretty. And it was out of the thick and thin, thick and quick. So that would be a very pretty little. It's a triangle, and it just comes. Let's see, do I have something already in a. I don't do triangles that much, you know. I'm more of the crescent type, but that would kind of. You remember my little cozy neck warmer where I had the pom-poms? Now that could kind of. I might could take that and expand it in the back or something. Of course, this is like a winter pattern. But hey, you got to go ahead and start looking now. Here is another Lines brand, and everyone has a shawl like this, the Rosy Glen shawl. Here's the back of it. Oh, that's pretty and pastel-y. If you do it in lightweight yarn, you could wear this in the summer. You could have this as a nice little evening wrap. Okay, let's see what else we have. I'm just going to grab a bunch now so that we can move through some quicker. Now, see, after a while, everything seems pretty much the same. There's a triangle shawl. Okay, nothing really different. Everyone has seen this pattern on every website, probably. It's a Line brand. You can still get it, I'm sure. Let's see. These are very... Oh, this is one that I wanted to look at. This is... Let me take it out of this so you can get a good shot of it. Okay, now this one is, it says Yarn Inspiration. See if I can get a good picture of it close. Yarn Inspiration. And it is a beautiful vest. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I found something. I think I'm going to have to hold this one out. We're just going to use it for inspiration. You know, I'm not going to be reading all these, you know, it's the whole pattern, her numbers or whoever numbers where this thing is. Let's see what year this is. Because I know I'm past this. I'm past these numbers, whatever year it is. Let's see, I'm trying to find a year. Maybe it could tell us, but it's Yarn Inspiration. But I believe I could use this and come up with something. There's this beautiful lace center in the back. All right. Slowly roll, Jay, slowly roll. I think this will work for something. So take a look at it. I don't see a date anywhere on it. I'd like to tell you about what year it came out, so you can kind of see if you have it too. For those that have to read patterns, of course mine will be different because I'm not going to read this pattern. I'm going to do a chart in the center and then just add whatever I decide, however I decide to add the sides. It's just yarn inspiration. And that's my little inspiration. And here is something I think we will enjoy. So let's put this on. I'm going to lay this over to the side. I don't want to turn that into the book. Okay, these are just a lot of Lines brands, just regular stuff. Here is, everybody's seen a basic little sweater or shrug. Okay, here is another, what is this? I don't even know what page and where I got it from. Original, let's see, no date. But as you can see, it's got the sleeves. Those I'd make, you know, of course, for cold weather, but I don't usually do those with the longer sleeves. I don't know, I hadn't done one that I can recall. I may have somewhere. There's just another shrug or shawl or a little wrap, you know. When one thing was popular, everyone wanted to have their version. Every yarn company wanted to have a version of it. Here's this one. This is Line Brands again. And this was the Chanel thick prayer shawl. My gosh. Oh, you can see I was thinking about it. Look, in my own handwriting. Exactly the way I write my patterns now. I had a border 5 plus 45 in the center for whatever I was going to put in there, whatever design, plus another B5 for a border. And when you add that all up, just like I do now, I was to cast on 55 stitches. But I don't see any more instructions, so apparently I never got around to it. Look, because I probably was too busy looking at something else. Oh my gosh. There's a classic shoulder cozy. I never have really made a lot of those, these little, that kind of wrap around your shoulders, because I always felt like a mummy, like I couldn't move my arms. So I never did make any of those. And there's just something on the back, some type of little shawl. Here's a red heart again. Beautiful little feather and fan shawl. Now that's really nice and easy, especially for a beginner, once they get the feather and fan down, once you get the stitch down. But I'm telling you, it's so much easier from a chart. Once you get it down, there, because it makes its own little border and its own little feather and fan stitch. You know how it goes, ripple. So you don't really have a lot to do. You don't have to worry about a lot. There's that. Should I keep this one out? Should I hold it? Should I hold it? What do you think? Should I hold it? Feather and fan shawl. Hey, it's free. It's from Red Heart. And on the back, you have the Infinite Beauty cowl. That's real big, but I'm so short and so, you know, but I think we'll just keep this out just for inspiration. We're not going to use it. If you have the pattern, it's free. You can get it. Hold on. I'm going to lay this over to the side. Here's another red heart. There's that mummy look again where it goes around your shoulders. But see, then I couldn't drive my car. It's a capelet. Capelet. Oh, look. Crochet posy purse. Look at that. Remember the purses? Don't worry, I have a whole book of just purses. Remember, everything I did, put it in categories in the book. So, but look at that. That's so cute. Just plain and simple. Let's go through a few more and then we'll see where we end up. I just wanted to share with you and to have this on my YouTube channel. That I, you know, even though I make my own designs when I came on YouTube, but that did not mean that I did not get inspiration or love to see what other people, how other people would design or make, or even try some of their things. But like I say, as a creative, I just love making my own. I just like when things come into my own head and I can sit down and try to figure it out. Figuring it out is one of the fun parts. Look at this, red heart again, lacy knit capelet. Everyone has seen this, I believe, a lot. And look at all those words. I'd be so tired. By the time I got to row 11, I'd be done. I'd be like, okay, but now if I saw a chart, oh, look. Now, you know what? That's cute. That is so cute. Is that a glare? Do I need to take it out? Let's take this one out just so that you can see. You can vote. And, oh, look, there's more. There's more of the pattern. Oh, my God. Well, when I do it, it will be a chart. We will find something. Look at that. Let me bring it closer. What do you think of that? Is that something? Ooh. You know what would be cute? Now, you may not think it's cute. You remember my little house when I redid the house chart? Would that be cute to have little houses? Well, maybe not. I'll think of something else. But it's just on the edge. And look. Oh, look. Look at that. I already have an I-cord, whole collection of I-cord, where you start with the I-cord. Here's a winner. Look at this one. Inspiration. Red heart lace knit cap. But we'll give it we'll redesign ours. I'll find put a pretty chart here. And, of course, I'll use my I-cord that I'm already using because I already have a collection of them. I can just add this. Oh, my word. This is pretty. I'm just looking at some of the stats. Everything seems to be very easy. I'm just looking at some of, you do a lot of yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit one. Yarn over, slip, slip, knit twice, yarn over, knit one. Just very, no real hard. That's for that particular design. But we'll be doing our own design. So I'm going to hold this. Go ahead and vote if you think you might like this. Now, for those that are crocheters, maybe you can get some inspiration and come up with a crochet version. In fact, my friend Seta over at Seta's Place, what had happened was, what had happened was I was binging on some of her videos, and because she's got a lot, and but I was looking for certain things. I was looking for something that she, maybe like a top. Well, I saw her wearing this, not this top, but a little top that's all over the web. I mean, but she did her own version, a crochet version. And so I sent her a message and says, well, do you have a tutorial? And I gave her the video, and she looked it up, and she sent it back, and she said, yes, here's my tutorial. I said, well, I think I'm going to use your version for inspiration, and I'm going to make a knit version. And then that way, I will be able to put my version on my channel, plus share her version in the crochet on the channel. I just think that's fun to have a knit version and a crochet version. So any of my friends out there that crochet, okay, Katrina, okay, anyone, whoever want to join the party, when I bring this back, we might think of a crochet version. But you got to have some kind of little lace work or something. All right, I took a lot of time on that one, so I'm going to put this aside. Whoa, look at that. I didn't even know I was going to get all this into it. Very easy. Everybody's seen this little, let's see, this is from, I don't know why I'm not seeing any dates on some of this stuff. But everybody's seen this little cape. Little top. Oh gosh, my foot went to sleep. Okay, and then here's another cascade multicolor. That's kind of cute, but it's V. I don't do the V ones. Oh, this is Melissa Liebman. I'm big into her stuff. I use a lot of her stitch books and things. But I just don't do her pattern because she just looks tall to me. I don't know, she may not be, but she looks tall. Anyway, but I would do it, and it would have to be a crescent. I would have to change it some way to fit my fluffy body. Fluffy. change. Okay, so let's move on. If I see something really different, then I'll stop. Okay, there's nothing really different about that. Here is a Lines brand. It's just a plain little vest. Nothing really different. Let's see, I'm going to grab up a handful. Run through. Simple mesh vest. Everybody's seen that's real old. Here's a triple crochet shawl. This, you know I crochet, so apparently I was thinking about this because I did some handwriting on the pattern. See down there my handwriting? I must have been thinking about, oh, let me see if I can change it to make it a little shorter, or it's probably a V and I was going to try to make it into a crescent. So that's what I do. A lot of times I have to change the V to a crescent shape. And these are just real old. Nothing to write home about. Very old, very vest in a jiffy. It must have been some of the jiffy yarn. I used to have some of that. I used to call it the poor man's mohair. Oh my gosh. Deep blue sea. That's cute. I've seen this and remember that. Some people made that. Let's just go through some here now. Okay, now we got mesh things for the summer, but I'm not really a mesh girl that much. This looks nice, but it looks like it's for an old lady. I'm an old lady, but it's not for me. I might be an old lady, but it's not for me. It's just not for me. Okay, so we're just running through some now. Okay, here's a Plymouth yarn. Everybody remembers this. This is a garter stitch vest where you just knit every row. Ladies vest, and you just knit every row. Let's see if it gives a back. No, but it gives a whole pattern. I probably got this at the yarn shop. When you get flyers like this, these are what you pick up at the yarn shop. Maybe my friends and I were out on a knitting and lunch date, and we would always have lunch after we would go to the knit shop. You know, we'd find a new knit shop or somewhere, and we'd buy a lot of these. They would have them for sometimes real cheap. Just a little simple, like a page and then the information. So I'd always pick up a lot of those, and then when we get back, we'd share what we had. We couldn't wait to get back, or the next week, and everybody would bring their stuff, what we bought, so that everybody can see what you had, and we can share it. You see, a lot of this, everybody, you remember all of this. Most of you should remember a lot of this. Okay, well, I'm trying to look through and see if there's anything that's going to pop. We found just a couple of things. Here's that with the sleeves. The only thing with the sleeves, it didn't cover enough of me. I like to have my body covered a little more. It just covers your arms. So that's why I never did get into just a sleeve type shrug. And here's everybody. Here's the shrug. Here's the Amy shrug. Everybody was making this. Oh, 2007. Everybody was making this shrug. It's really pretty. It has some pretty lace too. Oh my gosh. Oh. And there's just some type of little shawl. Can't tell because you really can't see the picture. Oh, let's see. Here's something from Joann's, a how-to. Just a little old simple shawl. Let's see. Oh, this is look real pretty. It was one of their freebies. Oh, out of some of that pretty little thin yarn. Oh, that would be real pretty for those that like. You know what we're going to do, though? We are going to take some of the charts now that, especially since I'm getting some inspiration, I'm going to go and move up a needle size, or maybe even two. Take maybe a chart with a beautiful lace and move that lace up to a larger needle where you get the larger openings, the larger holes, the larger lace. So where we normally use an 8 or 9, I may move up to a 10, 10 and a half, or even an 11, just to see the difference. That you could take the same pattern that you would normally use, your regular needle that we use, but move it up 2 or 3 needle sizes and see the difference. See how it just opens a lace, how things pop. So that's something right there, and everybody remembers that. This is one of those little sheets. Oh, here is is this Crystal Palace? Yeah, Crystal Palace yarns, free knitting pattern. And here's a pretty little caplet, okay? Remember? But that's what keeps my arm, it makes me think I can't move my arms if I wear it. But, you know, I could think your taste change over the years. I might like it now. Who knows? Since I have crossed the threshold of an old lady. Here's a beautiful, beautiful classic elite yarn. Whimsy triangle caplets. Has a beautiful little, but it's still a V. These come down too low on me. All right, well, we're almost at the end of this book. And I may, just to end it before we go, I may give you a sneak preview of maybe a book to come up. More Cascade. And now I do have, this one didn't have as many downloads from Ravelry. But don't worry. Trust me. Jay's got the receipts. I was sitting up day and night. Print, Ravelry, print. I had this thing on Ravelry. They would have so many pages back in the day, what I remember. I haven't been on that in a long time because I started doing my own thing. And then when I got on YouTube, you know, I didn't want to look at stuff on there because I made my own things and I didn't want no problems, you know. Like, oh, that looks more like that. So, no, I just made my own stuff. So I haven't been on Ravelry in years. Not because I've just been busy doing my own thing. But, you know, I would try. They would have like, I remember when it first started, you could go all the way from page 1 to page 300 looking at different things. And every night I would do my best to get to page 300. I would sit up night after night. And I never could quite get from page 1 to 300 in saying one night or something, one day. So, and then later on, years later or later on, when it got even bigger, they went to 500 pages. Well, I never could get from page, I started page 1 and I just keep every page. I would look up all the designs and I was trying so hard. And it was my goal to always get to page 500. Well, one night, something said to me, Jay, instead of trying to get from 1 to 500, why don't you go to page 500? Because you don't know what's on page 500 and work backwards. And that's what I did. I went to page 500 and started working 500, 499, 498, 497, and I was trying to go backwards to get to page 1. I don't think I ever just was able to just do it all. Oh, here's a cute. This is when I was would work sweaters. Remember when I first came on YouTube, all my sweaters was like this. From the bottom up, and I'd work that long, big old piece. Remember, you'd have a front, the back, and then the opposite front. And, you know, a lot of people weren't used to that, or maybe they thought it was just so hard because you're working with such a large piece of fabric, and you had to knit up so far and put this one on a needle. Knit so far, this one on a needle. Over here, that's a needle. Then you have to go back and you have to... But that's how I learned, and so it wasn't hard to me. But I think some people are like, gee, I don't know about this, Jay. But you know what? Those are still some of my best videos that people still look at to this day. I'm over here knocking myself out doing new stuff, and you know they still go back to the old stuff. Yay! Thank goodness for old stuff. Oh, here's some of that novelty yarn. That's cute. See how it looks at, like fake fur or whatever, faux fur or whatever stuff. I remember when this, to see if there's a date when this came out. I remember looking at this. I don't think I did it, but let me turn on the back. Well, I start circling things like I was going to do it. I still don't see a date. It's probably on here somewhere. I just can't see it right now. But anyway. All right, so let me see. I just run through the last few things because I don't see anything really big and hot and heavy. Oh, let's see. Well, let's go to the back. That's easy. That's just a shawl. Now here's a Ridge Mobius. Now I think this one is a real. It's not just a twist. It is a real Mobius. There's a difference when you knit them on the edges. How it looks. That's how you can tell. But this was a real one, and I remember when this came out. This was January 2007 when this came out. Who is it by? Let's see if they gave who. Zena Lowe. I don't know. But it was very popular. Very, everybody, because we were learning how to do the Mobius, how not to just make a twist in it, but how to actually knit it, because it switches up halfway through. That's pretty. And let's see, here's something. I'm sure I got this at the knit shop, one of those little things. And here's the dollar. This is a pretty little thing. I've never have done one of these. That's pretty. Oh, it's $5. 6 sizes to adult. Let's see if there's a date on it. Can you see that? There's it in pink. There's a pretty green. Really pretty little simple. I'm sure it probably has all the instruction. Oh yes, got all the instruction. And then you have this Town and Country little capelet. Everybody remembers this from Line Brand. And then more stuff we got at the knit shop when we'd go. We always would pick up all of this. Look at those shoulders. It's got to be from the what? I don't know what year that is, but they got to be old. Look at the shoulders, boxy shoulders. Oh, this is crochet. So, all right, let's stop here and let me take a look, and maybe I'll give you a sneak preview of a book that may be coming up. How about that? All right, back in just a moment. All right, my friends, I looked through my stash of all of my white binders, whether it's knit or crochet, and I found this one that I thought would be interesting, because if you're new into knitting, or you want to teach someone some of the best skills and basic ways, but in little bites. Sometimes it takes just a little bite to get someone interested, or to get someone, get their creativity going. And this popped up as I was looking through some of my many, many white pattern binders. And this was, you can tell how old this one is. You can see my little thing is it says fiber, I think it's Fiber Trends. I can't read, it's tore. But the best way to do it is in like little dishcloths, things like that. So, now, what I'm going to do is, of course, we have projects. So I've done the first one of my OSMR, and where I'm showing you my collection of white binder, of my patterns in my white binders, something that I didn't get a chance to do before. So, and since I have so many, we'll take one, which we just finished the first one tonight. Then we're going to do our regular projects, because I got new stuff coming. And then we'll stop and then go through one of the white binders again. And just to kind of break it up, and then plus to give me and you, even you, a chance to finish up on a project, And this one, look at the cover of this one. I'm going to hold it up so maybe it don't have a glare. Look at those stitches. That's what excited me when I first started, knitting. You don't start out, well, some people do. A lot of the new, younger people, they really gravitate. They'll start out with a really intricate sweater or whatever. But we started out learning, when you really learned the stitch and how to work it and how to read it, because we were reading patterns back then. And I'm just going to open up a few just to show you how much fun, and I'll stop because this is just a sneak preview. This is just a little sneak. Look at that. This, now I'm going to pull close to these stitches, and then of course when I do the video, I'll show you up close, but look at that. you can get all the stitches you want, but in little bites. This is a beautiful soap basket with little hand towels or washcloths, dishcloths, whatever you want to call them. Here's a bunch that I downloaded off of Roxy's Knitting Fun free patterns. Back in the day, you could just get so many. This is from 3/17/2011. So this is from 2011, as you can see. Apparently I did it because I was writing on it with my hand. They didn't have charts in, so. And I printed it off the net. And if there was more than one sheet or 2 or 3 sheets, sometimes I would just do the first sheet and then write by hand the rest of it so that I would save paper and ink. Hey, you got to be smart. But look at that. I'm just showing you a few. I just love this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to look back at my stuff. Look, here's just page after page of all these beautiful free patterns. Okay, now, Jay, you're supposed to stop. You were just going to give a sneak. This is cute. Look at this itty bitty gift bag pattern. Now, I saw somebody recently had a little gift bag. I don't know if it was Seta or someone else. I know Seta had one, but this is Knit. And here's some more. So I better stop because, look, I get so excited. I just spill the beans, don't I? Well, let's go back and let's just look at it again. So, for those that are interested in improving your knitting skills and how to do different stitches, but in little bites, not have to work a large pattern, or if you're trying to teach someone, this is a good way to go. So, hopefully, you will join me on the next Jay's ASMR and look at all my stuff. So, I better get off. And until next time, this is Bird and Jay saying thank you for joining us and happy knitting to everyone everywhere. Bye-bye.